here, or I'm just laying in the cave, something like this, and I put my camera, this one, and with a new touchscreen, I just rotate my screen down and just go and just shooting. Otherwise, years back, I just take a shot, take a look, oh, it's not good, take a shot, take a look, and I was just repeating this endlessly. Now it's really nice because, and you can also put all the shortcuts on your touchscreen, and you can go whatever angle you want with your camera. It's really, so it really improves your work, your speed with when you're working. Yeah, it's also one more thing, image stabilization. So we have it in RF lenses and inside the body also, and together they work amazingly. I mean, really. I did some crazy photos with so slow shutter speed, and everything was really, really sharp. And when I was going 2 days ago, when I was just checking my presentation, I noticed that most of the photos from, say, last 3 years, I did it without a tripod. So I'm using the tripod just for waters or stuff like that when I need really slow shutter speed, but otherwise, mainly I'm doing handheld. And yeah, I mean, with Canon, there's continuous innovation. I really love that. So if any of you are a long time with Canon, you know that they are just putting some incredible stuff on the market. I mean, nowadays you can have some brands or some products which they have magic buttons, magic filters, magic something, which is just a part of marketing. But the Canon really puts really amazing stuff into the new gear. So it's really good. This is really important. This is my favorites. I already talked about some. So about the sensor, for me, the most important part, this is the number one for me as a landscape photographer, is dynamic range. I mean, a lot of time I'm shooting directly into the sun. So 5 years back, let's say 6 years back, you need 2 or 3 photos, I mean exposures for one photo. So for the shadows, for the highlights, and let's say some midtones. Because the dynamic range was so big. But now with the new cameras, as you see, I'm R5 shooter, the dynamic range is so great that mainly I always do just one photo. I expose correctly for the most brightest part of the image. Of course, everything is dark on my screen, but later in post-processing I just bring out the shadows with no noise. So it's really nice. Because if you're shooting something that is moving, let's say river, if you have wind, leaves is moving, everything, it's really hard to have 3 exposures. I mean, you can do it, but it's so easier nowadays. Yeah, I always talked about image sensor for limitless post-processing, post-production, in-body image stabilization, low light. I also mentioned that. And there is one more thing I would like to highlight is focus bracketing. I know that a lot of macro photographers using focus bracketing, but I'm using also. It's really nice. It's inside the camera, and whenever I really like to shoot strong foregrounds, and I have a really big distance to my main focal points, and I just set the camera for 5 shots, and I just take the camera, just do it by yourself, and it's really work amazing. So yeah, I know that this photo it's not really appropriate for these times, because all of the horrible things are going on over the world, but it's really old slide. So anybody has an idea what is all about the gallery in the tank? Any suggestions? No. Okay, so I love to say that my R5 is built like a tank. It really is, because you can shoot with R5 under the waterfalls, in the rain, on the minus 40 Celsius, plus 50 Celsius, whatever. I tried with mine, so it's still working. It's amazing stuff. But on the other hand, I can get image quality which is perfect for, let's say, the biggest and most demanding clients with galleries all over the world. So this is, for me as a landscape photographer, really important, that the camera is compact, extremely good build, and it has amazing quality. So yeah, you see, this is for one of my smaller expedition. It's for European part of the Alps. So beside my cameras, I'm carrying, you see, everything from snowshoes, jackets, tents, whatever. So my backpack is around 30 kilos heavy. When I'm more into the wild, it could be also, especially because of the water, sometimes even heavier. So that's why I said I really love that the Canon now has lighter and more compact gear. This is my trio. I have more lenses, more stuff, but I always carry those three. And it's reached from 11 to 500. So I'm really more extreme wide angle shooter. So my first choice is 11 to 24. This is my only EF lens. And now I can tell you there is a new lens, a wide lens on the market, which is 10 to 20 RF lens, which is amazing, lighter, so much lighter. And so yeah, 11 to 24, I use this one, mainly this one. Of course, 24 to 70 RF lens, and RF 100 to 500. So I have everything that I want for landscape from 11 to 500. I covered everything. So a lot of people ask me how I find these places that I go. Yeah, mainly I start with some Google research. I'm just Googling. I'm looking what other people are shooting. Sometimes I check, let's say, some hikers groups on the Facebook, or some athletes, or some biologists, whoever they are going outside. They just take selfies or some more crappy images. But based on this, I can see a potential. So whenever I see some nice leading lines, some very good mountains, I said, okay, there's a place, and I start to search. Yeah, so I will start with my last year expedition in Canadian Rockies. This is a really huge area, so I have a local guide there. It's my friend. I have some friends in US and Canada, so we were exploring together. I was exploring together with them. And my preparations was something like that. I mean, the lowest temperature we had was minus 38 Celsius. At that time when I was preparing, I wasn't so sure. I mean, I was sure for my i5, but I was not sure for my touchscreen, because I know that the LCD screens might not work in so cold environment, but I can tell you everything was really nice, so I didn't have any problem. But for that kind of expedition, you see, I mean, you are covered, I mean, everything. You cannot have any piece of your skin exposed to the extreme cold. So yeah, this is my first photo. I call it Frozen Pyramid, and this region is called Ghost River. It is, for those who are more familiar with this part of Canadian Rockies, it's somewhere between Banff and Jasper. It's really remote. And we were just exploring around, looking for some cool spots, and I just noticed this one, this pyramid. And because all around us were a lot of mountains. But if you want to have a good photo, you need really strong focal point. So if you have 6 peaks, it's not good. You need 1 or at least 3. We're always looking for odd numbers in photography. 1, 3, 5. And also this one, I said, okay, can we go check? Of course, if you go all around the mountain, probably will need 5 days. So mainly for the scouting in that kind of areas, I'm using my drone. I just go really high up, and I'm looking for some, let's say, rivers, lakes, creeks, whatever, some good reading lines. And I found this one. This is more a pond. It's a really small one. It was just 20 minutes away from where we were standing. So we just come here. And you're asking me why there is water, because in that part of Canada there is, I mean, it was extremely cold, but there are some hot springs, and that's why, because the water is not frozen. But the problem was that if you go by the land, you just go to here, into the water, into the mud, so it was not possible. So I was just kind of jumping and looking for some ice plates, some boulders or stuff like that to come to this place. And all my friends just following me. When they saw this one, they just go, oh, this is cool, we're just shooting here. And I need to stop them, because I really like, whenever I'm shooting, I really like that people are not destroying my foreground. This is really important. Yeah, so when I was here with my camera, first I just choose this spot, and this was really small, but because of the 11 to 24 camera, because of the wide angle, everything was so huge. But the mountain behind was a little bit smaller. Otherwise, in real life, the mountain was just like this. But because of the perspective, it was that kind of a thing. So for this one, I mean, people are always asking me, oh, can I go with you? It's so nice, so colorful, nice sunset, nice sunrise. Probably for this one, you just step out of the car, set a tripod, drink hot chocolate, and wait for the colors. Yeah? So, take a look at this one. That's the same when we are approaching to this place. Something like this. Yeah, 7 hours to take just one of those photos. And yeah, that was the place when it was minus 38 Celsius. So you see my camera, my backpack, snow, ice, water everywhere. Yeah, but it feels so good that it's no problem. Again, with this one, we're just again Canadian Rockies walking on the ice. You see, beautiful image, but the real style was something like that. So I just put my tripod and my tripod camera just go away. So I did the photo with it's handheld photo. Yeah, you see what I mean. I really love to do with a lot of textures, a lot of foregrounds, and a lot of times I'm so close to the floor, so that's why I'm using Canon 24. You can see it on the right photo. This is the real photo. I just put a glove under my camera because you want to have a really crispy foregrounds and you have nice focal point, and that's why you're creating kind of a three-dimensionality. One more from Canadian Rockies. Also handheld shooting because there was a big border, so I cannot put my tripod. I was just something like this, shooting this one. And I did focus bracketing with my camera. So it was really nice. And you can see it's sharp in front, everywhere, colors, everything is amazing. Just something like this. Yeah, this is one of the most famous places in Canadian Rockies. It's called Mount Sharpen. And why I put this slide on? Because not because of this movie, but all these three friends which were with me, they were using different cameras when we last met. It was 6 years ago. And last year, they will switch to Canon. Yeah, it's really a game changer for photographers, believe me. So one more for with extreme wide angles, textures and patterns. So I will move from Canadian Rockies to the heart of the Sahara. Totally different story. Yeah, the sand can be a camera killer, lens killer. But I was in Algeria, Libya, and Niger for a couple of weeks. And first of all, the airplane company, they just lost all our stuff. So I only have my camera and 3 lenses. I didn't have tents, sleeping bags, nothing. And when we started, I will show you later, I was just standing on a jeep and shooting with the 100 to 500 lens. It was the second day. And in the moment, army just came and they say, guys, what are you doing? And I said, okay, I'm shooting, I'm a landscape photographer. He said, why do you have so big lens? And they just took me to the police station or military station, I don't know what was it, and asking me for 2 hours, what is this big lens, 100 to 500, and if maybe am I a spy? And I said, no, I'm not, I'm just, yeah, but I'm a landscape photographer. He said, yes, I understand, but you have this is a spy lens. So, I mean, I was really lucky to get out of it, but on the second day, they took my lens. They were really kind. They said, okay, the lens will wait for you at the airport, and it really was there. But I only did probably one photo with my 100 to 500, which is this one. And this one I took with 500 mil. What I really like here, I mean, as I said, I'm more wide angle shooter, but with a longer lenses, you can so beautifully compress everything. You can imagine that those dunes were miles away from each other, but with the telephoto, it's so compressed, so beautiful. And I went to this place because this part of Sahara is very known that during the sunrise and sunset becomes reddish, like a Mars. So I really want to capture that kind of stuff. I did this one with a 24 to 70 millimeters on 24. And when I was just changing my lens, my camera just fall into the sand. It was open camera, open lens, everything. So I have sand in my camera for 10 days. But it worked for 10 days. When I came back home, I just fill it up, put it in my repair shop, but otherwise it was working. But yeah, so that's the movie, and I was just running down to the base camp when I had a blower just to clean up a little bit of the stuff. But anyway, it was too late. It was only the strange noise in my lens, and it wasn't like it. Otherwise, it was working perfectly. Yeah, so you can see how many cents here. This is in my shoes, but probably the same amount was in my camera. But what is really good on R5, when you turn off the camera, there is something just closes up some kind of protection, and it's really good. So if you're changing your cameras, say if it's raining or something, it's really nice. Just turn on the camera, change lens, and it's protected. There are some behind-the-scene photos also. I found this dead body and just put my hands and my 11 to 24 inside, tried to make some photos, but there was no good photos, so just for something like this. Yeah, I was traveling with the Tuareg tribe. I mean, they were our guides. So you see that there's a photo that the military came. I was just all the time on my car, shooting with my 100 to 500. So yeah, we are traveling with them. It was really rough because sometimes we sleep outside. There were no tents. I mean, for the first 2 weeks. So it was really, let's say, brutal for the camera and the lenses, but everything was nice. So one of my favorite photos is this one from Africa. I call this one Arrival at the Human Cradle, and it was made, just go back, so there was a kind of a window, again not so big, and there was a view over on this beautiful, let's say, landscape. And so that's the place. We were just driving by, I was just exploring, and I found this one. Probably no one would stop here. I said, okay, we should stop here. My friends said, why? And I said, because this is probably the best spot we found in Sahara. And we stayed here for 3 days because we didn't have good weather. I mean, good weather for landscape photographers is that we need to have some clouds, something going on the sky, but there was just sun with nothing. So that's why I wait for that kind of condition to take this photo. And that's my camera shooting to the. It was small, tiny hole, but because of the perspective, it looks so big. And that is my friend. Location. See, everything is red. So that's the setup of the my images. The next one is this is from this year in Greenland Seas. So of course, when you're on the boat, you cannot use tripod, so everything is handheld. In really wild conditions, it's cold, it's humid, it's waves, everything you can imagine. This is one of the photos. I really like it. I like it because of the two whales here. You can see there is one spray also here on the whale. And if you are sailing around that kind of iceberg, it's extremely dangerous. Because if you have 50 meters of iceberg above the sea, there is probably 100 below. And the problem is, of course, they're just breaking down, but the biggest problem is they're rolling around. So if you are 50 or say 100 meters away and this stuff starts rolling, just lift you up and kill you with it. So that's a trick. That boat was probably 400 meters away from this iceberg, in just the perspective. Again, I did it with my telephoto lens because telephoto lenses are compressing the distances. So that's why it looks they're together, but they are not. yeah, there are some of the photos from the boat. Yeah, I was very tired at that time. Yeah, yeah, and that's another one, really beautiful one. So there was crazy. I mean, so much fog, and the captain say, okay, we cannot sail in this, and I insist, okay, can we try? I'm just asking me all the time, because as I said, I need the drama for my photos, not the blue sky. And we find that kind of a really nice iceberg with our sailboat, and we started shooting, and I did this photo. But after, let's say, we were here for an hour and something, the passage that we came in just closed. So we stayed in the kind of a pool inside the really big icebergs, and we couldn't move, and in any time the iceberg can fall on us. And on the radar and on the sonar in the boat, we can just see everything was blocked around us, and it was so foggy. In that kind of circumstances, again, me and the captains, they're using drones just to fly high enough to see where the passage is to go out, but because of this fog, we cannot launch our drones. And I felt really guilty for this one, because we stayed in this pool, and it was really dangerous for 2 days. And I mean, no one stepped in there, because we were just waiting that something will collapse on us. But yeah, it is now, it's nice photo anyway. Yeah, so that's basically the view from my phone. So you can see, you can't see anything. So yeah, being a landscape photographer, you need a lot of patience. I said to myself, I'm waiting always for something, for light, for different season. I'm just waiting. No, I'm kidding. So that's also one photo with the telephoto lens. So when we weren't sailing, we were just hiking around all over the icebergs. Here's another one. And from the Greenland, let's go underground. So those photos are, let's say, 4 years old. I just got, let's say 5 years, I just got my first R5 from Canon Slovenia, and they said, okay, can you really put it into some hard conditions, really try how the ISO working, how the low light is working. So I joined a team of biologists in Slovenia who are exploring some, I don't know, new creatures in the caves. So we did descent for 350 meters below, and everything was muddy, everything was humid. I mean, it was really crazy. And of course, I bring my backpack and 2 additional lights, and the guy from the rescue team said, okay, first of all, you cannot carry the lights and you cannot carry the backpack, because some of the passes are really tiny, really narrow. So I just took with myself my R5 and 24-70, which is my, let's say, for me, more versatile lens. It is something like this, we start something like that. And you will see all of the photos in the cave are made with my head torch, my phone light, and on 12,800 ISO. Yeah, so it's really crazy high ISO. Oh, that's the rescue team who are with us, because it's a little bit dangerous. But yeah, something like that. You can see this is 12,800 ISO. You can say maybe it's just a little bit soft, just a little bit, but I mean, only 2 lights on head and on phone, this is it. And whenever we were just, you see the narrow passages, we just need to go here. So every time, I just put my camera under my jacket and just go wherever the guys went. So it was really amazing. Yeah, and the water. So I was standing there. There was kind of a small waterfall, and I mean there was everywhere just water nearly on my camera, and it was really fun. It was the first time in R5 for me, so I was just a little bit afraid. That okay, so much water on the lens, on the camera, but now after time I can tell you it's really it's bulletproof stuff. Oh no, that's the previous one. Yeah. So yeah, that was an exploration. Yeah, and I mean, if you can remember with the old cameras, with DSLRs, it's not possible to shoot in that kind of low light. I mean, this is really incredible. I mean, you can do that, but you have so much ISO, so much noise in your photos. And yeah, I'm talking about my expedition all over the world, but I believe that you can find whatever you want in your home country. I really believe that. I started in Slovenia, and I'm working mainly in Slovenia, so have a great country for landscape photography. So don't need to spend a lot of money, thousands of dollars, just to travel around to find some crazy places, because sometimes we have it just in front of our eyes. Yeah, maybe some of you know this place. This is called Island Bled. This is our famous place in Slovenia. And the client said for me, it was a government, I think, said, can you do a little bit different for this particular place? I said, how? And then after that, I started exploring, and I came back to the same place in the winter, in the autumn, and changed perspectives, everything, and I just create beside of that some different photo. This is the same one from a little more above in the winter time. All of the photos are made with 24 to 70 RF lens with my R5. See, for that kind of photo, of course, I need a tripod, because there's probably a couple of seconds shutter speed, because everything is nicely smooth and milky. And also, I go higher, lower, just exploring. What I want to say is that if you have some beautiful place in your country or in the city, whatever, you can just take a different perspective and create a different kind of photo. So just don't go with this, okay, we all know this one, it's boring, this is boring, this is boring. It's not true. If you're an artist, you can find a way to shoot the same place, same person, whatever, in a really different way. This is from our karst. It's really a beautiful place. Oh, that's one more feature for this one. So that's me on the photo. And remember the times when we have these kind of clickers for shooting? Now you have everything in your app, on your phone, and you can just set up your camera. I just set up my camera here. Somehow I just managed to go on this rock with my camera, I was standing like this. Just change some settings, because you can change your settings on your phone, and you take a photo. This is really convenient way of shooting. It's really, again, really nice photo, beautiful, everything is nice, but it's behind me. This river was just going down into the cave, it was really crazy. So it was a little bit tricky for this one. So that's the place looks like in the river. Yeah, you see, with the right settings, you can just freeze the water, impact the colors and everything. So you can see it's not post-processing. We have it on my screen now. Yeah, this is also Slovenia. Very known place. For this place, everybody say, I don't want to shoot this because it's too, it's too touristic. So that's why I came here in the winter time. It's really hard to get here and take a shot with this is 11mm shot for this one. Again, some new perspective, new season, new everything. So this is my 8-hour walk toward this place. Yeah, so there is no hot chocolate or something like this. So for those who want to join me, another famous place. We have so much churches in Slovenia, and again, I need to take this one a little bit different. So I came here in the winter time, and I set this foreground, and I blur it, and I just shoot over to the eyes, and it's a 200mm shot. And I live half an hour from here. I think I can for 20 times probably to get that kind of photo. So yeah, I mean, can wait for a long time for a good shot. This is also from Slovenia. It's 11mm shot. I tried this one to take a panorama, so 3 shots like this, and also with 11 to 24. Because some people say that, oh, if you're shooting dead wide, everything is maybe banded or distorted. But the L lenses from L series in Canon, they're really good, so there are no distortion. I mean, barely anything. So it's really, you see everything, it's aligned, the horizon is straight and stuff like that. So it's really important because for that kind of photo with the star, you have 5-10 seconds, so we need to move, to work fast, and everything should be okay. Again, one from my home yard. It's a vertical. This was a 14mm. And again, this mountain was so huge, but because of the perspective, it looks just nice. Shooting with wide angle is really nice because you have everything in your frame. But then when you came back home, put it on computer, you see just your foreground, and the subject you're shooting is that small. I also used on this one, this is around 800 meters high, and you see the rocks and everything is so fragile, it's just cracking all the time. So at that time I was thinking, maybe what, my family or a good photo? So I decided for something in between, and I just moved my tripod in front of me. I was not standing there because it was too dangerous, and I did this photo with my phone. I just connected with my camera, with my app, and just yeah, this is from South America. It's an Argentinian park of Patagonia. Really nice place. I was here with my really good friend, landscape photographer Max Rive. We're just exploring the area. And that's our camp, that's how we live. You see the black, how it's called, we put all of our food on the trees, but still on the second night we have, I don't know the name, we call it Kruger in English. It's a big cat, lived in that part of Patagonia, just came into our camp and destroyed all of our food supplies. So it's just really crazy. And everyone has this one. So I asked our driver, can you just drive with your car up and down as fast as possible to have that kind of trails? And of course, he did it. Yeah, this is a 30 seconds shot on 24 to 70. And we have to say it's nice one. One church from Slovenia. This is one also on 500 lens. Again, all the distances between the Alps and the church are huge. These are, I mean, kilometers away, and but with the 500, you can just compress everything. It's so amazing. This is from Croatia. I think that this is a fairy tale. I mean, one of the most places that photographers want to visit. It's really nice, colors and everything. But again, be there at the right time with enough colors. You might come several times here. I will learn this one, but I have a better opportunity for this kind of photo with the perfect conditions. This is in the national park, but getting there during the night, you need to go around, and it's a really wild place. It's called Velebit. It's a place with a lot of animals and stuff like that. And I just say, okay, today is the day, and I just go with my backpack to shoot this one. And when I was really close, I just put my backpack on the floor, on the ground, start preparing the stuff, and then suddenly I just turn around, and first I think there was a wolf beside my backpack. But because there is a lot of sheep, there was a big shepherd dog, a really big one, just beside my backpack. And I said, oh, okay, but I mean, the conditions were perfect, so I just want to grab my camera, and he just said, rah, it was not possible. So I leave my camera for 4 hours at the fall till the sunset, and then I asked rangers, can you please help me with this? And they helped me, but I didn't get a shot on the past day probably for this one. So I have this one, I like it, and I'll come again here. So yeah, that's the one. You see, the big cave. I mean, the cave was that big, really small one. And I just go into the cave with the camera, something like this. I just turn my touch screen down, and I just shooting like this. So in old days with the cameras, it would be really tough to get that kind of photo. It is 11mm shot. And I also used in-body because it's in camera focus bracketing. So I just focus on the foreground, middle ground, and the foreground, and the camera. Took 3 shots, everything was shot, just put it together later, and it was amazing. This one. Again, more foregrounds with camera, again stitching, so more focuses. This is probably, it was 20 centimeters away from this old trunks. Yeah. And the famous, it's called Trecime di Lavaredo, Italian mountains, chimneys. Probably 7th or 8th year I was here, the conditions were so nice. Yeah, this one is a little bit different for me as a landscape photographer. I was just walking around in the Death Valley in the United States. There was storms with sand and everything, and I just had my camera something like this, and I was just walking around, and of course there was nothing, I can see anything around, and I just see this one, and there was just some small, I don't know the word, storms or some sand, small storms just come and go, so I just stand in front of this, and just when the sandstorm passed, just put my camera out, take a few shots, went back, and that's how I made this photo. Everything you see, mostly all the photos are made handheld, because really if you're using our system with RF lenses and our cameras, both stabilization working together, it's really amazing. Yeah, Also this one from the United States. See, but sometimes we're just standing. This is actually made from the car with a whiskey in my hand. This is really easy one with a 500 lens. And you see, there is no, let's say, very strong composition. So it's night framing. But what I did is only one shot. I just exposed from the sun correctly, and I took only one shot. And then later, in post-processing, I just bring out the shadows and get that kind of a shot. So sometimes, if you don't have a really strong focal point, your brightest part of the image is always your strongest focal point. So you're focusing always with this kind of stuff. Again, really low angle. This is Capitol Reef in America. I just put my lens on the floor and I take this shot. It's a famous spot, and a lot of people just walking around, taking shot with it's called factory wood. You can Google it. There are thousands of photos, but all of them, they were missing just what was in front. So textures in front of you. Remember, if you want to have a three-dimensional photo, you need to think about foregrounds, midgrounds, and backgrounds. So that's why I use extreme wide angles to work with that kind of compositions. And believe me, with the older lens, that kind of sharpness would be really hard to get. I mean, it's really, because it was just on the floor, this is a couple of centimeters away from my lens. It's so extreme. Again, the right button. Yeah, and from the American Canyons, again, this is 500 millimeter shot. It was 1600 ISO. You can see it's still very clear, so no problems with the higher ISOs. Yeah, and this is from this summer when I was working for Estonian army. I was just standing here again with my phone, ask them, okay, guys with the helicopter, can you just turn around and come again? I put my camera a little bit out, they just come around. And after that, all the cloud just pops on me, and I just wait there on the cliff for half an hour, probably, just something like this. I didn't have even my camera, I didn't know where it is. So sometimes, yeah, being a landscape photographer, it's not so fun, but being now on the stage with you, looking at the photos, it's nice. Yeah, and I will end my exploration with this one from last winter, Man on the Moon. This is, I really like this one. It's a 500 shot. There was a kind of hiker walking on the snow, of course. When I have this photo more zoomed in without the tree, everyone said, "Oh, is this AI? The people is walking on the moon." And then that's why I put also the tree in the photo, because the people are not saying that it's AI. So I think it's time to my escape now. I'd like to thank you, and please wait for answers and questions, because we'll be back very soon.
Which I think that brought us a lot of questions. So I would like Luka to ask you to come back on the stage. And right now it's your moment, guys. It's your moment when you can ask Luka whatever you want about what you've seen, about the way he's creating his art, his photography, and about his experience. Because I think that this experience, basically, of doing such beautiful photographs, basically enlarges your life. It takes you great place.
Yeah. I mean, I believe, in a way, creating photography, I believe that there are two approaches. I think one is, let's say, technical approach. So you need how to deal with camera, the settings. But for me, most important part is artistic approach. So you must transfer your imagination on your photo. And probably because I am, let's say, in love with our planet, that's why I became a photographer.
That's such a great relationship. That's such a great relationship. So, your questions, this is your moments. Please raise your hands, and one of my colleagues will come right at you with a microphone, or we can listen to your question right now. Please, yes. Don't be shy, come on. I'm sure you have questions. Come on. Thank you, Kartal, for the first question. Until then, I'm sure that you are going to find your curiosity. Please, Kartal.
What phone are you using?
What do you mean phone?
Yeah, because I saw that you're taking photos of the camera.
Yeah.
Are you using another Canon camera or?
If I'm on a camera assignment, I have a smaller camera, but on the really tough expeditions, those footages are from my friend's phone. So whenever I'm taking, if I'm on the photo of my dear maid, my friends are taking shots. So they're using their phones. I don't know what they have. Yeah. But I have a pocket camera phone. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
Thank you very much for the question. For the following question, please. Right there in the back. Perfect.
Hello.
Hi.
Photos, first of all.
Hello.
I was curious, what's the longest handheld exposure that you are happy with?
Well, probably. I mean, what do you mean happy with? I mean,
the clarity is good. The picture is sharp.
Yeah. Well. I think I was on 40 seconds, but I couldn't do it more. I mean, if there is no wind, if everything is very stable, and if you have a sturdy tripod, you can go for 2 minutes if you want. It all depends of the other circumstances. The wind probably is the main problem all the time. But usually, you know, if you're talking about shutter speed, especially for the water, I'm not such a great fan to have everything very milky. So I'm looking for structure. So my times for the shooting the water is between 1 to 4 seconds. It depends of how fast the water is. If it is the big waterfall, I go to 4 seconds, or vice versa. But I'm not using very long time because otherwise everything is so, as you say, it's not that crispy. So it's not only the matter of the camera. So let's say if you're somewhere out, the leaves on the trees, everything around, to be perfectly still for 2 minutes, it's almost impossible. You can do that kind of stuff inside in the studio, but outdoors, it's really hard. So mainly I just go a little bit higher with ISO just to shorten my shutter speed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Handheld?
Yeah.
So exposure for handheld shots, what's the time?
For the handheld shot, it depends which lens you have on, but I can tell you that I was working on a 500mm, I was with one of 60 seconds. So this is really slow for that big lens. But everything was perfectly slow. Of course, I have my image stabilization on in camera and on the body, and it was really nice. So I just go probably this is the lowest as I go. You know, if you're on a professional mission, I need to bring back sharp photos, so I'm just not playing around with speed, but probably you can go even slower. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much also for your question. Right now, we have 2 more questions here in the front. Thank you, guys. You can ask in whatever order both of you will ask.
Thank you. I wanted to ask you, because I'm also a landscape photographer,
yeah,
and I do focus stacking as well.
Yeah.
And how much of a difference does it make the automatic focus stacking in the system? Because I shoot manually different.
Yeah. I mean, I'm using focus bracketing in the body. If I'm on a place which is really hard to shoot, so I have camera beside me or something really strange, I use in camera focus bracketing, and I just set more. If you know, there are steps you can set, and I set, let's say, for 20 steps, just to be sure that everything is sharp. But then the camera anyway just calculated and mainly give you 3 to 5, and when you put it, is everything sharp. But if I'm with a tripod, or if I have on a, let's say, more regular place, I prefer to do manual focus stacking. I mean, I just enable the touch and shoot on my LCD, and I just click it on the other parts. I mean, for the foregrounds, middle grounds, and maybe in some corners, and I do it manually.
So it doesn't automatically blend the focus areas?
No, it's not in the camera. Anyway, you should put it out in the post-processing. So either you're doing it manually, or you do it in the camera focus bracketing. You should put together in the later in whatever app you're using. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you for your question. Right in your right side, please.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Amazing photography.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I wanted to ask you if you can tell us a little bit about post-processing.
Okay.
How you manage the colors and maybe the haziness when you make like 500 millimeters photography, because it always it's like a problem, that haziness in the further away.
So you have a haziness in your photos.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
do you use filters?
No, I'm not using. I only use UV filter, but it's more for protection. I mean, especially, filters are fine, but if you're shooting into the sun, because more glass you have in front of your lens, more chances of flaring you have. So that's why I'm really not a big fan to have a lot of filters. But yeah, it's, of course, polarizer I use sometimes. But for this haziness, I mean, I have two, let's say, long lengths. One is 100 to 500 RF lens, and I also have 70 to 200, and I mean there might be some haziness, but this is not a part of because of the lens, because this is more about physics because of the air which is behind. So you can deal with this in post-processing. So if you're using Lightroom or any Adobe apps, yeah.
Which one is your favorite, actually?
You mean a filter? I mean, you mean action?
After a proper.
Well, yeah. I mean, first step is, of course, I choose 5 photos from 1,000, and then I go to Lightroom. Yeah. So I do some basics in Lightroom. I mean,
sunt chiar 5. De când sistemul EOS R a apărut, acum vreo 2 ani, a început lumea să întrebe, dom'le, cât mai ținem DSLR-urile astea? Se face switch-ul, se face transferul de la DSLR la mirrorless. Tu că lucrezi la Suzumita, cum e? Ce știi? Ce se întâmplă? Răspunsul meu era, bineînțeles, dacă aș ști, tot nu va spune. Că e Markov, că multe alte chestii. Dar acum, cred că după 2 ani putem să concluzionăm niște chestii. Încă se întreabă. Este clar că piața merge în direcția asta. Nu cred că putem să ne oprim și să spunem, nu, ok, bun, fac o paranteză. Sunt persoane, așa zis, nostalgici, dom'le, rămânem DSLR pentru că știu old fashion. Ideea e că tehnologia te împinge acolo. Din păcate sau din fericire, depinde cum o vezi. Dacă ești de partea asta a vânzărilor, e clar că din fericire. Dacă ești de partea cealaltă, din nefericire. Faptul că piața mirrorless crește, duce ușor, ușor la faptul că va ajunge la faptul că DSLR-ul va fi ceva, hai să zicem, cum zicem un amic de-al meu, băi, e istorie, că mi-am luat deja el 5. Nu neapărat istorie, și dacă ne întoarcem acum 5 ani, să vorbim puțin și de competiție, pentru că e bună și fără competiție nu ar trebui să... Adică o piață normală trebuie să aibă și o competiție. Când competitorii noștri au spus, dom'le, noi renunțăm la DSLR-uri și trecem la mirrorless, toată lumea a întrebat, dar Canon de ce nu face chestia asta? Da? Când ai un monopol, și acum putem să explicăm, când ai un monopol de piață de 70 plus, să zicem, cotă de piață la DSLR, dacă tu anunți, dom'le, e gata, de mâine trecem la mirrorless, nu este logic și anormal să nu spui chestia asta în vedere că tu ai vânzări din punct de vedere DSLR-ul, asta nu înseamnă că DSLR-ul moare. Că de fapt ăsta este răspunsul la întrebare. Probabil, în timp, cred că în engleză sună mai bine, va fi fade away. Și de ce? Pentru că nu o să mai apară produse noi în gamă, nu o să mai fac actualizări de firmware și atunci ușor te împinge. Ne împinge și cei care folosesc deja sistemul R sau mirrorless în general, nu contează dacă de la noi sau de la concurență, simt pe pielea lor chestia asta. Ce se întâmplă? Ați văzut și istoria. Cei 4 ani, aproape 5 ani, lucrurile au evoluat incredibil. Să ai o plajă de 40 plus obiective, să ai 15 camere sau 14 camere, să vii cu noutăți, ați văzut cele 3 lansări de astăzi. Este clar că împingem piața înspre partea asta de mirrorless. De ce să o folosim? Păi, haideți să vă spun eu puțin despre ce, că poate puțină lume știe. Piața de SLR în ultimii 3 ani a scăzut cam 25% în fiecare an. Și aici vorbesc și de România, dar vorbesc și de partea, să zicem, a Europei, ca să nu comentăm Asia sau America. Inclusiv Germania, țara reprezentativă foto din Europa, da? Când scazi 25% în fiecare an, lumea a pus-o pe seama faptului că nu există chestiile astea care se numesc telefoane mobile și fără ele nu se poate și uite, lumea poate să facă multe lucruri cu telefonul. Este adevărat. Era și zica la ea în engleză că dacă nu poți să câștigi, fă-ți prieteni. E clar că nu putem să stopăm evoluția smartphone-ului. E clar că dacă vedeți mâine o lansare sau a fost acum o lansare celor de la Apple sau chiar și Samsung și așa mai departe, în prezentare de o oră îți spune jumătate de oră despre un procesor și jumătate de oră despre o cameră, înglobată într-un item mic. Presupun că mulți din sală de aici, în momentul în care ajung să descarce fotografiile, să le pună pe un monitor calibrat, nu știu, 27 de inch, ceva mai ok, dacă îl tragi chiar și cu iPhone-ul sau cu Samsung-ul, se vede granulația, se vede zgomotul. Nu există încă, să zicem, o paralelă sau un grad de egalitate între un smartphone și o cameră foto, chiar și cele pentru începători. De ce? Ecranele telefonelor mobile sunt făcute special să oglindească un anumit tip de culoare sau o anumită încadrare și așa mai departe, tocmai pentru a ajuta lumea și a crede că partea asta de camere foto în curând va muri. Nu e chiar așa. Revenind la ce vă spuneam, piața de DSLR-uri a scăzut cu 25% în fiecare an, iar piața mirrorless de 2 ani crește undeva la 30 plus. Diferența este clar în favoarea mirrorless-ului și nu neapărat că noi sau concurența împingem numai aceste categorii de produse, ușurința, avantajele despre care povestea și Alex și Luka sunt clare. Nu avem cum să mergem în altă direcție. De aceea, ce vreau să vă spun de fapt și să vă încurajez pentru cei care încă folosiți DSLR-ul, nu neapărat să faceți schimbarea acum la mirrorless, pentru că din vari motive, financiare, știu eu, de nostalgie, de obișnuință cu camera cu DSLR-ul, de kit-ul pe care le avem, gear-ul pe care le avem și e foarte greu să scăpăm de el și așa mai departe. Dar fără să vreți, mai ales dacă faceți din asta și un business, monetizați produsele pe care, fotografiile pe care le realizați, o să ajungeți acolo. Pentru că rapiditatea, focusul, portabilitatea și toate lucrurile care au fost menționate anterior vă vor obliga să ajungeți acolo. Există fel și fel de evenimente de vânzare, Black Friday, știu eu, cele pe care noi le anunțăm mereu, acest Winter Cash, Summer Cash, Get Ready for the Season, sunt mai multe. Urmăriți-le și ușor, sfatul meu este să încercați să ajungeți acolo, pentru că, și cu asta închid, e clar că ăsta este drumul. Iar la anul, Canon, nu pot să vă spun mai multe, dar eu vă promit că va fi ceva revoluționar. Dar la anul, undeva, nu știu, la jumatea anului, o să vedeți despre ce vorba. Dacă mai sunt întrebări legate despre piață sau legate despre Canon în general, oricum o să fim în sală, atât eu cât și Luka. Să mă spală, că să închidă, dar urmează și partea mai interesantă, da? Vă mulțumesc frumos!
Aplauze pentru Laurențiu și mulțumim pentru toate informațiile. Acum știți cum sunt, aici așa fac de curiozitate. Ne-a lăsat-o exact așa ca o bombă în capul nostru să vedem cum se va configura această surpriză, acest game changer ce va veni la vară. Poate îl întrebăm, poate îl tragem de mânecă să vedem dacă cumva ne va spune. Eu vreau să vă mulțumesc foarte, foarte mult pentru că ați fost alături de noi în această seară. Vă propun pe mai departe să rămânem, având în vedere că suntem un număr atât de mare de oameni, având în vedere că activăm în același domeniu, să profităm de asta, să socializăm, să povestim cu Laurențiu, cu Luka și cu întreaga echipă Canon, în cazul în care mai aveți și alte întrebări, dar și mai important, poate ar fi să testăm gama EOS R. Colegii mei au pregătit în spate, în partea din stânga, cum vom merge spre spatele încăperii, două camere, acolo unde ne așteaptă atât camere cât și obiective din gama EOS R pe care putem să le încercăm. Avem această priveliște absolut fabuloasă.